Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of the Pachycephalosaurus project, where today we'll be adding clay to my Pachycephalosauridae and learning more about this dinosaur. During this video today, I'll be sculpting away at my Pachycephalosaurus, you could say, with plasticine clay. Covering up that skeleton we made in part 1, which was fun, we'll also do some painting today, before too much clay is on the face, I say. But before I get too carried away with being Dino Dr. Seuss today, we'll be doing a deep dive on the Pachycephalosauridae, one might say. So as I sculpt away, let's learn more about this dinosaur. Well, actually today we'll be learning a little bit more about 3 particular dinosaurs, the Pachycephalosaurus, Stygimomoch, and Dracorex. All 3 are members of the dinosaur group known as the Pachycephalosaurid. They lived alongside another in the late Cretaceous period in western United States. Fossils of this dinosaur have been found in the Lance Formation as well as the famous Hell Creek Formation. Just like many dinosaurs from this area, the 3 also had elaborate head ornaments. Although seemingly different, recent studies suggest they are not separate taxa, but growth stages of the same species of animal. Dracorex is the juvenile form, and Stygimomoch is the subadult form of Pachycephalosaurus. But how could they have such different head shapes? Why are they given different names, and are they really the same species? Since the beginning of its discovery, Pachycephalosaurus has always been confused with other animals. The first fossil attributable to Pachycephalosaurus was found in 1859. But it wasn't until 1943 that the name Pachycephalosaurus was established as a genus. It was instead first described in 1872 as a type of armored armadillo-like reptile known as Tylosteus. And in 1892, a Pachycephalosaurus skull fragment was mistakenly described as the dermal armor for a Triceratops. The next year, it was re-examined more closely and accurately described as a dome-headed dinosaur. And a new genus, Stygimomoch, was established. And in 1931, Charles Gilmore discovered a new dome-headed dinosaur and named it Troodon wyomsiensis. At this point, the genus Pachycephalosaurus has not yet been established, and the family of Pachycephalosaurids was known as Troodontidae. Troodon was only known from tooth fossils at that time, and since the teeth are very similar to Stegosaurus, no, that's not a mispronunciation of Stegosaurus. So Troodon was thought to be a dome-headed dinosaur similar to Stegosaurus, hence the mixed naming. In 1945, the misconception was properly resolved. Dome-headed dinosaurs were assigned as Pachycephalosaurids, and Troodon refers to a small meat-eating theropod dinosaur. Prior to this, in 1943, with newer, more complete materials, 2 species of dome-headed dinosaur were already named Pachycephalosaurus. By P. Granger and P. Ronheimery, the Troodon from the 1931 discovery was also renamed Pachycephalosaurus wyomliensis. But 40 years later, these 3 species would all merge into the type species P. y. myonsliensis. They were all considered synonymous. Then, in 1988, a new genus named Sternotholus was described as a new species, but the name is rather devious, and is commonly considered synonymous with Stygimomoch. Then, in 2006, a near-complete skull was discovered and was determined to be a new species named Dracorex hogwartsia, in reference to the dragon in Harry Potter. A different taxonomic reveal also reassigned the first Pachycephalosaurus fossil, once referred to as Tylosteus, to be within the genus Dracorex, supporting the coexistence of 3 genera of Pachycephalosaurid in the late Cretaceous of North America, each with only a single species, Stygimomoch spinifera, Pachycephalosaurus wyomliensis, and finally Dracorex hogwartsia, all with their own unique head ornamentation. Pachycephalosaurus was the largest and had the most prominent dome. Stygimomoch had the largest spikes, but a smaller dome. And Dracorex, the smallest of the 3, had just spikes with a flat head with a thickened roof. But 3 years later, the validity of this genera was challenged. Evidence presented in a 2009 study determined that cranial characters did not represent different taxa, but are actually ontogenetically derived features, the developmental stages of a single taxon. The three names were synonymized, and Dracorex and Stygimoloch were designated as juvenile and subadult forms of Pachycephalosaurus. The study revealed the skull bones of the Stygimoloch specimen were far less dense and highly vascularized, indicative of an actively growing pace. A fully formed dome referable to Pachycephalosaurus has comparatively less vascularization, meaning growth has subsided. This growth pattern shows that Pachycephalosaurus lost spikes and grew domes as they aged. The discovery of the youngest individual of Pachycephalosaurus specimen known today further supports this hypothesis. Its morphology matches the growth curve presented in the 2009 study projected backwards, confirming that Pachycephalosaurus' skull bones exhibited extreme plasticity and go under extreme cranial morphological changes during the animal's growth into adulthood. A similar ongenetic pattern has been found in another genus. The flat-headed Pachycephalosaurid Ornithothallus has been determined to be the juvenile form of the dome-headed dinosaur Stegosaurus. Many other dinosaurs go under extreme cranial ontogeny as well, most prominently in the Ceratopsian and Hadrosaurus groups. Further evidence can be found within the wounds and marks in the animal's skull. Although the dome function is still highly debated, a common hypothesis argues that Pachycephalosaurus used their domes for headbutting. Substantial impact wounds and lesions have been found in varying Pachycephalosaurus skulls. A specimen has been observed to endure 23 lesions in the front of its dome. A structural analysis shows that Pachycephalosaurus skulls had bone structures comparable to a bighorn sheep. A histological analysis also revealed the domes contain fibroblasts capable of healing bones. However, head-on ramming is still hard to justify. The arrangement of the vertebrae and the shape of the dome itself are unfit to withstand and distribute the stress of the violent impacts. Alternatively, after intimidation displays fail, they may have engaged in flank butting, standing parallel to their opponents during combat and striking each other from the side, suggesting, apart from being a display structure, the domes were used for interpacific combat. Such agonistic behavior is reserved for adults, specifically adult males, and the flat-headed specimens like Dracorex do not have these types of damages in their skulls, suitable with their designation as juvenile individuals. The absence of pathologists was also observed in the skull remains of other flat-headed Pachycephalosauridae, such as Goiocephalus and Homalocephalus, which directly suggests they also did not engage in ramming behavior. Thus, it can be inferred that they and all other flat-headed taxon are likely the juvenile forms of dome-headed adults, although we can never be too sure till more materials are discovered and studied comprehensively. Pachycephalosaurus has had many different names since its remains were first unearthed. Its unique ontogeny added even more names to its already extensive library of aliases. But fossil evidence shows that Dracorex and Stygimoloch are synonymous to Pachycephalosaurus. Juvenile taxonomic separation like this is notoriously difficult to resolve. Probably the most well-known case of this is a dispute over the designation of a juvenile T-Rex known as Nanotyrannus. Now, this debate is still going on to this very present day. Some scientists debate that the Nanotyrannus is just a juvenile Tyrannosaurus rex, whilst others debate that the Nanotyrannus is its own unique species. Now, I vaguely remember actually covering the Nanotyrannus topic earlier on in one of my Tyrannosaurus Rex videos, but unfortunately I can't remember which one that is exactly. However, I'll just put it briefly, I'm more or less on the side of this Nanotyrannus is probably not likely its own species and is more than likely a juvenile Tyrannosaurus Rex. However, I don't see this discussion actually being truly resolved till more specimens are found. Luckily, in the case of the Pachycephalosaurus, there's plenty of evidence to back this theory up. So I think it's safe to say that the Dragon King and the Horned Devil of the River of Death are nothing more than young pachycephalosaurs, a testament to the dinosaurs' incredible growth stages, or a small tribute to what these amazing animals were truly capable of, as well as a small glimpse into a prehistoric world that is almost alien from ours now. Which is why I personally find the world of paleontology just so fascinating. There's always something new to learn and discover, especially when it comes to the world of the dinosaurs. And that concludes all our fun facts for the day on the world of the Pachycephalosauridae. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new about the Pachycephalosaurus today. I definitely learned a lot about this dinosaur doing the research for this video, and I hope I passed some of that knowledge along to you. Be it the information is a little intense during this video, so if you are perhaps new to this series, be sure to check out part 1, where we go over, well, essentially a dumbed down version of a lot of this information. If you enjoyed this video though, be sure to hit that like button as hard as a Pachycephalosaurus's head, and well, comment below what you think of the project, or perhaps leave a suggestion for another dinosaur. And be sure to subscribe if you're new so you don't miss part 3 of this dinosaur, where I'll be finishing this project off, and be sure to share with your friends if they happen to be into dinosaurs as well. At any rate, it's time for the build rundown. So during this video today, I was busy sculpting a lot, you could say, predominantly using the medium plasticine clay. Although one should say there was a bit of oven-baked clay used along the way. I also got all the painting done today, so there will be more face sculpting in part 3, I do say. Where we'll be getting into the details, one might say, where a lot of feathers and stripes and other various details will be coming along the way. So be sure to subscribe today so you don't miss any of the new content coming your way. Or perhaps just have your post notifications turned on, I do say. The tools used today on this project, one might say, is a rake to scrape the dirty clay away, some rubber sculpting tools because they rule, painting brushes for the blushes, as well as some sculpting knives. Hey, thank you for sticking around to the very end of the video. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the content, comment below what you think, share with your friends, and perhaps consider subscribing if you're new. Anyway, that's enough from me. Till next time, take it easy.